All right, Sherlock. Sherlock, where are you from originally?
I was born in Detroit, but I've been out here since I was 8 years old.
Tell me about your family growing up. You had mom and dad?
Actually, my grandparents. My mom and dad were in the picture, but my father was an addict, and my mom really wasn't there, so I was raised by my grandparents. They had a lot of family out here, and my grandparents, they wanted to get to be by their siblings. So my grandmama came out here, and by me being a grandmama's boy and my sister being up under my granddaddy, wherever they went, we wanted to come too. And we came out here and we moved to 89th and Broadway, and I had an aunt that lived in Santa Monica. So from school, after I got kicked out of school in LA, I went back and forth to Santa Monica to out here. I ended up graduating from Santa Monica and, out here running the streets and growing up in the gangs. I got jumped in when I was 11 years old. Doing what we do, ended up going to this is where it started. I ended up going to juvenile hall. And I was such a fuck up to where they wouldn't let me sleep with the general population. They made me go to ICU, and it was rooms. And at that time, they didn't call them transgenders. They were called drag queens. And I seen one, and I didn't know. At least I didn't want to know. And we started talking and writing letters and stuff. And I called her my first little girlfriend. I was like 14 at the time. You know what I mean? Her name was Nancy, red-haired Nancy. They call her Danae now. I did get a chance to see her again. So I grew up back and forth. It was difficult because I'm a gang member. So, I heard the jokes, if you flip, you flop, you reach around, this and that and this and that. But once they realized that I was gonna fight, he laid off on the jokes, you know what I mean? And actually, this is what I do. I've been messing with these girls. I call them girls. That's what they are to me. Like you say, your last guy with Thailand, I wouldn't mind marrying one too, if I could just calm down and settle down, because that's what I do, you know what I mean? I have 3 kids, 4 grandchildren, so I'm not confused about my sexuality. This is what I like. This is what I've always liked. I put it out there. I have the tattoos, like I say, to prove it. You know what I mean? I have 6 dead girls over here. I'm left-handed, so I put the ones that I've been with on my left hand, this side. And my friends, like Papa's a homie. So if I've known Papa for 20 years, and I've known these girls for 20, 25 years, they're homegirls too, so why don't they deserve to get some type of recognition? So I have them on my right side, I've loved, I've lost, I've learned a lot dealing with them, you know what I mean? And I like it because people say a real man, doesn't do, I guess, what I do. Well, if that's being a real man, then I'm glad to be a fake man, because I like what I like, and I enjoy it. There was a time when I remember I took a girl home for Thanksgiving, 1996. Thanksgiving dinner, met the family. And I was still kind of shy at that time. She sat over there most of the time, and I, sit over here most of the time. And now I look back on it, I was young. I was still worried about what people would say, even though my dad and my mom, they didn't care. I was still kind of worried. But over the years of dealing with them and being a part of them, I can remember the first time I hit the boulevard. Somebody said, "What's your tea?" Oh, my tea? What's that? They was like, "What's your tea? What's up?" That's my tea. Because I'm Sherlock from West Side Hoover, I ain't got no motherfucking tea. What you mean? But, I realized that it was their way of saying, what's up, And so I've adapted, to the lingo, Tino Shade or whatever. I periodically say it. And, people think it's funny, like they go with that bullshit. But it's a part of me. I don't try to deny it. Today, I'm to the point to where, I walk down the street with them. That's what I look for. I look at women and I admire them. Yeah, wow, Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ, she's gorgeous. Only if, she had a kickstand. You know what I mean? That would be perfect. Because I'm into everything about them. At one point, no. I was young. I would try to hide and, being a homeboy, shit gets out. I saw you over here. What were you doing over here? Why were you in this part of the jail? Sherlock, I heard this, I heard that. Okay, well, if you heard it, it was true. Why is you worried about my dick anyway? And they don't fuck with me anymore. You know, like, okay, there goes Sherlock, that's the homie. But, you know, I mean, I've been stabbed 6 times. I've been, 7 times. I've been stabbed 7 times dealing with them. I've been in altercations on the boulevard, Santa Monica Boulevard, coming from clubs, and we're just walking down the street and people gay bashing, you know, throwing eggs, getting out, you know what I'm saying, wanting to beat up, you know, a gay bash. And yeah, I mean, the way I see it is if she's a faggot, then what the hell am I? But here's a faggot that'll fight. So, you know, there's been times I was like, girl, this nigga don't want to fight no man, he want to fight a girl. Let me use your pumps. Let me put that gilded, which is a wig. Let me put this gilded on and maybe this nigga will fight. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to fight a man, he want to fight a girl. So, you know, I've done that and I've clowned. I mean, it's just, it's fun.
Do you prefer trans women to regular women?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Don't go back and forth. I was just telling my buddy earlier today, I said not too long ago I was in a tent and I was in there getting high and this woman walked in. I said, excuse me. I said, I can't allow you to come in, you know, such and such is not here. She said, he said it's cool, you know, I can come in and smoke. I'm like, okay, cool. After a few puffs, I said, excuse me just a minute. I stepped out, I said, hey man, is that a transgender? He said, no, man, that's a girl. A girl? Oh, girl, I'm wasting my dope, man. What the fuck you doing? I don't fuck with girls like that, you know? He said, so like you for real? I'm like, man, I don't go back and forth, man. I ain't got time to be lying and explaining and none of that type of shit. He was like, man, you crazy.
But you used to be straight?
Yeah. Like I said, I have 3 children. You know, 3 children. I can remember I got a phone call one day that my son was with me. And I said, Corey, I said, man, I'm not going to take you home. I'm going to drop you off. He said, why? I said, man, I'm finna go out and meet some girls and stuff. He said, I like girls. I said, Corey, these ain't the kind of girls that go to your school, man. I said, you know what I meant to, Corey. He said, oh, daddy, man, I ain't with none of that old gay shit. I said, look here, you don't have to respect nobody. Just don't disrespect them. I said, you go in, hey, how you doing? I'm introducing my son, and you know, it should be cool. So we get upstairs. Oh, first he said, do they smoke weed? I said, oh, good, I got you already. So we go upstairs. And I introduced him as my son. And one of my friends said, oh my God, look at him. I can't wait till he get 18. And I'm thinking, 18? Okay, bitch, you got the same doctor I got. What the hell you mean you can't wait till he get 18? This is my son, you know? So I was always told not to put nobody covers or tell nobody's, you know, business. So I just told him, I said, Corey, look here, man, you know your father's condition. I said, you make sure you wear condoms in all that you do, you know what I mean? He said, oh, Dad, I ain't with that. I don't know what you with, Corey. I didn't used to be with a lot of shit. I said, but that's yours, that's your responsibility. I said, people will not tell you. I said, because no one wants to be rejected. I said, but I'm telling you, make sure you strap on. He said, oh, Dad, I got you. Yeah, I'm like, okay, nigga, you got me all right. Well, I done told you, you know. My dad, you know, he used to hang out on the boulevard with me. One night, me and my mom and dad, I said, come on, let's go hang out, let's go out. They was like, all right, come on, let's go. We went to the Study. There was a gay club on Thursday nights, you know, girls would lip sync, you know, do the songs and stuff like that. And I would be down here on 5th and Crocker. And instead of giving people money, I would go up there and I would tip. That would be my way of contributing. So I took my mom and dad up there. Me and my dad in the back talking, you know, with the girls, transgenders. And I'm like, what's my mom at? So I go up in there to see my mom. And she met me halfway. She said, you got some ones? I said, some ones. I gave her a couple. She said, no, that's not enough. And she turned around and I seen the stripper. I said, oh, mama. So I go to the bar, I get the change, you know what I'm saying? And my mama was on the stripper and whatever, you know. Okay, do what you do. You know, I'm going in the back with my dad, you know. So I got stabbed 6 times on Santa Monica and Highland. Santa Monica and Highland is where it really had all started for me. I was a GR. GR used to send us out to work, and they sent me to Griffith Park. So on my way from Griffith Park on Western and Santa Monica, I saw a apartment building apartment for rent. I'm like, okay, cool. We can afford this. If something happens to me, she, with her county check, she can still afford to pay the rent. And it was Santa Monica and Wilton. It's called the Harvey Apartments. And I was naive. I would walk down the street and people would blow horns and hey, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm a Hoover, but nobody over here know me. I didn't know that this was a blade, for male prostitution or whatever. And one day I went to the donut time and I seen a bunch of girls. Oh my God, they had stilettos, short skirts and everything. I died and went to heaven. But then when I looked at one, I looked all the way down. Oh God, that's a man. Holy shit. I got kind of spooked because once I realized one, I saw it in all of them. I said, oh fuck. I know what I wanted, but I didn't know what they wanted. They were bigger than me. These was, this was back in the day, right? And they're like, ooh, look at the T. What's the T, mama? Trade. And they're like, trade. I'm like, trade? I ain't got nothing to trade with. I ain't got no dope. What am I gonna trade? You know what I'm saying? But that was a term for a straight guy who messed around. This was 93. This was 93. And but once I saw that, I never left. I started hanging out there, selling drugs there. And I remember my first little girl out there. I had seen her one day. Her name was Latrice. And she said, we used to call her Lexus back then. And I remember her saying, what's up? Well, what's up for the night? She was like, I'm working right now. So I'm like, at that time when they were working, I just fell back or whatever they were working, I said, so when I'm gonna see you again? She said, you saw me this time, didn't you? I'm like, okay. So I finished doing what I was doing. And then later on that night, I looked, she was standing right there with something else on, a whole different outfit. And she said, you ready? I said, yeah, I'm ready. So we hopped in the taxi and we went to my place. When we got to my place, I pulled out my money. She said, what are you doing? I said, what? She said, you a trick or what? I said, a trick? I said, no, I'm just paying for the taxi. She said, nigga, as long as you on this boulevard, you don't pay for a goddamn thing. She said, you trade. She said, whatever we need, I got it. And if we don't have enough, I'm gonna go out and get some more. Oh shit, okay, all right. Now, if I tell some girls some shit like that today, they're gonna be chasing me off the block because times have changed, you know what I mean? Times have changed. But that's the era I come up under. Mark, all I had to do was stay out of the next girl's face. But I was young. I'm living in a house with five of them, and I'm trying to just be with one, and when they all go out at night, somebody will leave a purse and they'll come back, or the door will open, knock, and I'll open it. I didn't know now what I know then. Now if she leaves, I'm not opening that door, you know what I mean? If you left something, she gonna have to call me and tell me, because I know the game, you know what I mean? But I had to learn a lot, man. I had to learn a lot. There's so many women that, when I say women, that's what I mean, trans women. There's so many women and girls that I've had a chance to meet. I really love these girls. I do, and sometimes I come around here, I have money or whatever, I'll just go just to hang out with them or whatever. Look at the food here, go take my card, go get you something to eat, fill the ice box up, go ahead, do your shit. I've been knowing you for 20 years, that's the least I could do, you know what I mean? And today I came down to, get my hair braided. I said, I'm gonna see someone, and they're gonna braid my hair, I'm a homeboy, my children know, I've always thought I couldn't be touched, you know what I mean? I've always thought I couldn't be touched. And she's no longer with us, you know what I mean? But I fell in love with one, and every time I come home, before I come home from prison, I get a test. I call it my driver's license. I take an HIV test. And this particular time, the driver's license had expired. You know what I mean? I was found reactive, which is positive. And I didn't know how to, my wife and kids, they had put up with so much infidelity, lying, bullshit, jail, street stuff, me smoking PCP, tattooed all over my body. I didn't really know how to tell them. I said, damn, okay, I've done enough. So I shifted away, and I let them go. Do I regret it? Yes, because I'm not closest with my children as I should be. But I thought I did the right thing. I had to make a choice. And I didn't choose the streets, although it looks like it, but I was young. I didn't know how to put it out there, the stigma and things like that. So I just floated around for a while, And then I took some courses. And once I became a peer educator, specialized in HIV awareness, Hep C, human papillomavirus, HPV, I understood some things. I understood that it could be any of us. And now I make a joke. If I was it Charlie Sheen or Magic Johnson, you wouldn't kick me out of bed. Don't kick me out of bed. You know what I mean? I can remember girls would always, take the shower facing the other way, not wanting, me to see everything and stuff. And there was this one girl, oh my God, she was so beautiful. And she was up front. She said, well, Sherlock, I'm a gunslinger, which means she uses her tool. And I'm like, okay, baby, it's okay. You just point your pistol somewhere else, you know what I mean? There's no tea, no shade. She said, but Sherlock, why you gotta be so tough? Everybody's doing it. No, bitch, everyone you know is doing it, okay? Not too much. She ended up being my first. And I love her to this day, you know what I mean? And I'm having these feelings for her. I'm like, what the fuck am I feeling like this for her? I'm like, see, this is why you don't dib and dab, because you might like shit, you know what I mean? But, and I end up liking it, I end up liking what I do, and I tell, Papa all the time, I said, look, man, if they're not fully functional, man, I have no use for,
You prefer them to have a little male equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it about a trans woman that you prefer over a regular woman?
I just like the whole get down. You know what I mean? I think it's a struggle. It's very, very difficult to get up and dress up. It's very, very difficult to do this all day, every day, and be consistent with it. You know what I mean? To have the heart, to walk down the street in heels and skirts and still, let alone what people may think. You gotta have balls to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? And to me, they're real. People say, well, the first thing they did is lie and tell me that, their name was Keisha. Well, I do know this. Once feelings are involved, it wouldn't matter if it was Keisha, Kim, Tom, Hanks, whoever, I love that about them. I love the way that they care for me. I love the way that they care for me. Well, first of all, they can't have any kids, and I don't want any more kids. So, we have that in common.
Do you think you had this inclination before you had children with was it a wife?
Oh, yes, I did. Because even before I had children, I was on 82nd and Figueroa one day, and I put up on this girl, and she didn't want to have it. She was like, I'm cool. I'm like, what do you mean? She said, look, I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems. I said, what do you mean? She said, look, I'm a queen. I don't want no problems. I said, a queen? I said, well, baby, I'm a king. I said, baby, we can get together and make some jacks. I've always been foolish, cards, king, queen, jack. I said, maybe we can get together and make some jacks. She said, no, you don't understand. She said, I'm a dragon, I'm a man. I said, you're a pen. I said, what? And I was with one of the homies. I'm like, all right, girl, get me out of here. He took me to the hood. Really what he did was drop me off. I hopped back in my shit and I went looking. I was driving up and down Figueroa looking for this one. And I seen her maybe a week later. The homies got a call that one of our homegirls was getting into it with another girl. And when we all got to the motel, I knew that was a transgender. I said, Lamp. I said, God, that's a transgender nigga. She got squabbled. Look, he said, what? I said, no. I said, please. I said, don't tell who. I won't mention his name. I said, but don't tell him. I said, because he'll a killer. Don't tell him. I said, just let her go. Just let her go. I said, I'll deal with it later. Just let her go. I said, yeah, I got this. Don't worry about it. I'll deal with this later. I know it. So after she left, they didn't try to follow her or whatever. I seen her in jail, and we were talking, and she said, you remember me? I got into it with some of your homies one night, and I did this and I did that. I said, no, baby, that's not the way I remember. I said, but I know it's you. I said, because you still got them black panties on with that ass like that, and when your legs went up, she was like, boy, you too much. So we end up hooking up. Matter of fact, her name is the first name that I have on my left side right here, Janet Jackson. I have, they're all deceased. Janet Jackson, Deschanel, Leilani, Champagne, London, and Foxy. These are all names I have on this side. LaQuisha, Muffin, LaQuisha Muffin, Amber, Jody White Buffalo,
Fun names.
and one more I would have to look. They're all on, this side because they were just friends. We didn't have sex, but they were still they were my girls.
Are there different blades you go to find these girls?
All of these girls I met in Hollywood. Well, these ladies I met.
Is that Santa Monica Boulevard?
Yes, Santa Monica Boulevard. It's not the same anymore. The donut time is now, I think, Trejo's Tacos. This is on the corner of Santa Monica and Highland. Yeah, the Del Taco isn't there. The whole boulevard has changed, but that's why
You're down here on Skid Row as well.
Yes, but this is a whole different. Oh, they got some beautiful women down here on Skid Row. But I'm gonna tell you, Skid Row, the back streets.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. When you get to 15th and the Paloma, a whole nother world. 3 o'clock in the morning, they're standing out there with Batman costumes on. Oh my God, it's like beautiful. And sometimes I go back there just to look. You know what I'm saying? These are wow, they're gorgeous. And they're proud, they're doing their thing. They're not bothering them, and they're cool. They're with the bullshit. They're with all of that, I can remember a time in prison. When I went to prison, I saw one, and I said, "What's up, baby?" And she said, "Nothing." And I knew back then it was race. We couldn't be caught. She couldn't say nothing to me if she wanted to, It used to be like that, but it's not like that anymore. We had a place off of Detroit and Santa Monica called the Mining Company, the Yukon restaurant, full of Hispanic girls, and the restaurant was open 24 hours. That's probably why I've been stabbed up, but I would take the wife there, to dinner, and the kids. And I would say, "Excuse me, I gotta go to the bathroom." While I was in the bathroom with the girls. That was just me, I wasn't fit to be married. I wasn't fit to be honest or anything like that. I was really like a child in a candy store, in a candy factory.
You mentioned your father earlier. Was he into this as well?
No, my father wasn't. My father would come with me because he was getting dope at the time. But he was, he was not into any of it, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, I had a girl, she was following me around, so I took her home. I said, "Okay, well, let me get us a try, go clean up and this and that." And I introduced her to my dad. She went upstairs. And 15 minutes later, my dad said, "Mookie," he said, "Man, get this bitch out of my house." I'm like, "What?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Get this bitch." I said, "Dad," he said, "Matter of fact, you and this bitch get out of my house." So I go upstairs, and she's naked, and she has a tie around her arm, trying to tie to shoot up. And she said, I asked him if he knew how to hit. I said, "Bitch, why would you ask my daddy some shit like that?" She said, "Well, I thought if you, since you messed around and you was cool, I thought your dad," bitch, that's what you get for thought when you should have been thinking. You know what I mean? So, but me and my dad, we got past that. We got over that. Like I say, I don't have my phone with me, but I have pictures of my mom took out on the boulevard with me and the girls. It was fun back then. You know what I mean? Since then, we're in the neighborhood. I remember we was in the hood one day, and we were shooting dice, and the homie said, "Hey, Locks, girls came looking for you." And one of the homies said, "Shit, girls came looking for Sherlock. Ain't no telling what it is. You better check with Adam's apple, all type of shit." So I've been a joke, you know what I mean? Then sometime, a matter of fact, I was down here on 5th and Crocker, and I asked a girl to go get me some cigarettes. I said, "I'll go." She said, "I'll go for you, Sherlock." And when she came back, I was hanging out with the homies and the homegirls, and she got out the car and walked right up. She said, "Here you go, Daddy." I said, "Thanks, babe." I gave her a hug. I said, "I'll see you later." They was like, "Oh, that's a man?" They was like, "What the fuck?" The girls was like, "That's a man?" And I heard some dude say, "That man got my ass." All of you bitches out here. They was like, "Go on, Sherlock, do your thing." So, stuff like that. I've taken them to we had a strip club in the hood right off of Hoover and between Figueroa and Hoover and Florence. We go up in there and, they carry themselves like ladies. Where's the ladies' room? They tip. It's just, and they be like, "Sherlock, are you for real? Sherlock, what's that?" My mama said, "Boy, look at that ad." My mama said, "I want some of what she taking," because she saw the body and stuff, So, I've had fun over the years, There's nothing I wouldn't do for them, This is a different day and age, and some of them are new and stuff. And I do understand things, but
it's becoming more accepted.
And that's the thing. It's socially acceptable now, LGBT. And I get it, people, sometimes I'll be like, where was y'all at when it was hard to be gay? When motherfuckers was chasing us off the street and throwing shit at us, and it's me and two girls fighting, and I'm trying to tell them to go, because I can't do my shit and watch her too. Maybe just go, I'll catch up to you. Where were all these people at now? You know what I mean? Now, I have a alternative lifestyle or this and that. It was difficult back then. Can you imagine me and a bunch of penitentiary dudes and everybody's handcuffed to each other and I'm handcuffed to somebody that's taller than me with a ponytail and a weave and smacking some bubble gum, doing this. But I endured that, you know what I mean? And I'm proud of it. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
A lot of guys are on the down low with this.
Yeah, and to me, there's nothing about, I tell them at all, there's nothing about me being down low. I tell...
It's refreshing to meet a man who freely admits it.
I tell dudes, I say, no, I'm into transgender women. Well, it's all the same if you're bending over face down. Here's the thing, we're not even gonna have that much communication where you can think about being bent over, because I'm not gonna get high with you. I'm not gonna elaborate on you. You know what I mean? I say, look, I'm gay. You can call me Trey, this and that. I'm not gonna explain my sexuality to them. I'm gay, but I have I have a preference. We all eat meat. Some people don't like fish. We have a preference, And I tend to flock to areas where they're at, And sure, a lot of them may not know me and be like, damn, who is this guy? Why he's all around? But if you talk to one or they get to know me or know someone, okay, that's who that is. Oh, I remember what happened to him. It's not what happened to him. I grew up, I got gray. I've had a stroke, so sometimes I get high and I spook myself so I can, I see why people don't approach. But, the love is always there, you know what I mean? I'll give them my last. I always do. As a matter of fact, one here dropped off here one time and waited. And when we left, she had a little money and stuff and she was talking and everything was falling out of her pocket and stuff. And the guy said, how well do you know her? I said, I know her well enough for you to not mess with her shit, you know what I mean? And once I got away from him, I said, here, sweetheart, here's your money. She said, I dropped it. I said, but sweetheart, I just picked it up and took it out your purse before the dude that you was with did it. I said, here's all your money, it's all there. She said, oh my God, Sherlock, thank you. I'm like, okay, cool. She said, do you know what my dope is? Well, I wasn't looking for no dope. I was trying to make sure you had your money. And she said, well, dang, if the dope is gone, I said, sweetheart, really? I said, I've been had your money all this time and you talking about some drugs? She said, I love you, Sherlock. And I told a friend, they said, Sherlock, she wouldn't have did that for you. Well, here's the thing. I don't love people. I don't do for people because of how they feel for me. I do it because of how I feel about them. Some of these tattoos I have, people say, Sherlock, you think they love you like that? These tattoos don't represent how much they love me. It's about how much I love them. So let's not get it twisted, you know what I mean? And I've just always been like that, Mark.
What would you say, Sherlock, is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
To be honest. And the reason I say that is I'm 52 now. My closest friends are the ones that I have not slept with, just being honest. Because someone's gonna tell it and they may tell it wrong. So if you tell it the right way, at least you know you told it the right way. And I have a saying that goes, in order to get to the second date, you have to do what? You have to do good on the first date, you know what I mean? So I'm still shy, but I'm out there, everyone knows, but I don't approach. Because just because I'm feeling some way, doesn't mean everyone else is feeling some way, If I get high and sexually promiscuous, that doesn't mean she is. So for me to approach in that type of way, I might mess up a friend. So I'd rather just sit back and just do me and just see how it fans out, you know what I mean? Just to be honest, man, because someone's gonna tell it, and what's done in the dark is gonna come to light. It may not come to light the right way, so why not tell it? At least that way you know what you get. You'll feel comfortable. You know what I mean? You'll feel comfortable. The only regrets I have in life are missed opportunities. Missed opportunities.
All right.
Missed opportunities.
Sherlock, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Very interesting.
It's the truth. You know, they say I've said your life's an open book. Well, hey, you know what I mean? It is what it is, you know? And with that being said, I'm going to go find someone to hang out with right now.
Good for you. Have fun.